Welcome to the training on change management for leaders. This training focuses on one of the most important responsibilities of leadership, guiding people through change. Whether the change involves processes, technology, organizational structure, or strategic direction, leaders play a critical role in determining how successfully that change is adopted. Throughout this training, we'll explore proven frameworks, practical leadership skills, and real-world strategies that help leaders navigate uncertainty while maintaining trust, engagement, and performance. Our goal is for you to leave with tools and confidence that you can immediately apply to changes occurring within your own teams. Change is no longer an occasional event. It's a constant reality in today's workplace. Organizations must continuously adapt to new technologies, customer expectations, regulations, and business priorities. Unfortunately, when change is poorly managed, organizations often experience lower morale, reduced productivity, employee frustration, and increased turnover. Employees may feel uncertain, disconnected, or resistant if they don't understand the purpose of the change. Successful change isn't about creating a good strategy. It depends heavily on leadership. Leaders bridge the gap between organizational goals and employee experiences. When leaders communicate effectively, build trust, and provide support, change initiatives have significantly higher probability of success. By the end of the session, you should be able to apply established change management frameworks, lead change initiatives with greater confidence, support employees through periods of uncertainty, and strengthen the leadership skills necessary to guide successful transitions. As we move through the course, think about change initiative you're currently leading or expect to lead in the future. Use that experience as a reference point when applying the concepts we'll discuss. Foundations of change management. Change management is a structured approach to helping individuals, teams, and organizations successfully transition from a current state to a desired future state. Many leaders focus primarily on systems, processes, and timelines. While these are important, successful change management also focuses heavily on people. Employees must understand the change, accept the change, and ultimately adopt new behaviors. Effective change management balances people, processes, and performance to ensure sustainable results. Two well-known models can help leaders better understand change. The first is Kotter's 8-step change model, which begins with creating urgency and progresses through building support, communicating a vision, removing barriers, creating momentum, and ultimately embedding change into organizational culture. The second is Lewin's change model, which consists of 3 stages: unfreeze, change, and refreeze. In the unfreezing stage, people prepare for change by challenging existing assumptions. During the change stage, new behaviors and processes are introduced. And finally, during refreezing, new practices become the accepted way of operating. Kotter's model emphasizes leadership actions and organizational momentum, while Lewin's model focuses on the psychological journey people experience during change. Role of a change leader. As leaders, we serve as change agents. A change agent is someone who influences attitudes, behaviors, and actions in support of organizational goals. Employees frequently look to leaders for guidance during uncertainty. Your actions, communication, and attitude toward the change shape how others respond. Effective change agents build trust, create direction, encourage adaptability, and help employees move forward with confidence. Leaders have several critical responsibilities during change. First, assess readiness by understanding how prepared your team is for the transition. Next, clearly communicate the vision and purpose behind the change. Leaders must also provide resources, training, and support while monitoring progress throughout implementation. Finally, don't overlook the importance of celebrating success. Recognition reinforces positive behaviors and helps maintain momentum. This slide outlines a practical roadmap for leading change. Start by assessing readiness and identifying potential barriers. Clearly communicate the vision so employees understand what is changing and why. Next, provide the necessary training and support. People cannot be expected to embrace changes they aren't prepared to implement. Monitor progress throughout the initiative and celebrate milestones as they occur. Each milestone builds confidence and demonstrates that the effort is producing results. Change management strategy. A successful change initiative begins with a clear strategy. Change efforts should align directly with business objectives. Leaders must identify potential risks, engage key stakeholders, and establish measurable indicators of success. Without a strategic plan, organizations often react to problems instead of proactively managing them. A thoughtful strategy helps ensure everyone understands both the destination and the path to get there. Data plays an essential role in effective change management. Leaders should use employee feedback, engagement data, performance metrics, and other indicators to assess how the change is progressing. Data provides visibility into what's working and what may need adjustment. Rather than waiting until problems become significant, leaders can identify concerns early and make informed decisions that improve outcomes. Core leadership skills. Communication is often cited as the most important leadership skill during change. Employees need clarity, consistency, and honesty. Leaders should clearly communicate the vision, explain expectations, and acknowledge what is known as well as what is still uncertain. Remember that communication is not a one-time event. Key messages must be repeated through multiple channels and reinforced consistently throughout the change process. Change often requires difficult conversations. Concerns, misunderstandings, and resistance should be addressed early rather than avoided. Effective leaders use respectful dialogue, focus on facts rather than assumptions, and work towards productive outcomes. The goal is not to win an argument, but to create understanding, build trust, and support successful implementation. Please see the training titled Difficult Conversations for more information on this topic. During change, leaders often feel pressure to control every detail. However, successful change requires delegation and shared ownership. Delegation empowers team members, encourages accountability, and increases engagement. It also allows leaders to focus on strategic priorities. Rather than micromanaging, leaders should provide expectations, resources, and support while allowing employees the autonomy to contribute. Change affects people differently. While some individuals may embrace new opportunities, others may experience stress, uncertainty, or anxiety. Compassionate leadership means listening actively, showing empathy, acknowledging concerns, and supporting employee well-being. Employees who feel seen, heard, and supported are more likely to remain engaged and adaptable during periods of significant change. Maintaining performance during change requires intentional leadership. Set clear expectations, provide regular feedback, and evaluate whether goals need adjustment based on evolving circumstances. Performance management should focus on helping employees succeed, not simply monitoring results. Frequent coaching conversations become especially important during periods of transition. Change can create competing priorities and increase workloads. Leaders must help teams focus on critical work, manage competing demands, and encourage collaboration across all functions. Strong teamwork reduces uncertainty, improves communication, and helps organizations implement change more effectively. Managing people through change. One of the most important leadership responsibilities during change is supporting employees. Acknowledge concerns, provide clarity whenever possible, and make yourself available as a source of guidance and support. Even when leaders don't have all the answers, employees appreciate transparency and consistent communication. People are more likely to support change when they feel involved in the process. Seek employee input, encourage feedback, and include diverse perspectives when making decisions. Inclusion improves buy-in, generates better ideas, and increases commitment to successful implementation. Sustaining change. For change to last, it must be reinforced over time. Recognize progress, celebrate milestones, and integrate new behaviors into everyday operations and organizational culture. Sustainable change occurs when new practices become the normal way of working rather than a temporary initiative. This slide highlights several leadership concepts that support successful change. The 7 Habits framework emphasizes proactive leadership, intentional planning, and collaboration. AMA leadership principles focus on continuous improvement, accountability, and strategic thinking. Harvard's leadership research emphasizes people-first leadership and psychological safety. While these models differ, they all reinforce a common message: successful change begins with effective leadership and strong relationships. Course wrap-up. As we wrap up, remember these 3 key ideas. First, change requires leadership, not just strategy. Second, people are at the center of every change initiative. And third, communication and trust are essential for long-term success. When leaders focus on these areas, they significantly increase the likelihood that change efforts will achieve their intended outcomes. Take a few moments to identify one change initiative you're currently leading or expect to lead. Next, identify 2 leadership skills you would like to strengthen and 3 specific actions you can implement immediately. The value of this training comes not from what we've discussed today, but from what you choose to apply moving forward. As you reflect on today's session, consider your current confidence level in leading change. What's one insight that stood out to you? What is one leadership behavior you will begin, stop, or continue to improve your effectiveness as a change leader? Remember, meaningful leadership growth begins with self-awareness and intentional action. Thank you for your participation in this training on change management.